All right, guys, let's talk about the Kansas City Chiefs, the Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs, as we are contractually obligated to say, as you like to remind me. We're obviously into the middle of the OTA minicamp season. We've got a very interesting report out of Chiefs OTAs and minicamp that I think is potentially setting up a really big move for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, Nick, I think this move in this article that we've found about the Chiefs is going to be really impactful. I think it's very insightful information here. Chiefs fans are going to love it. But another thing Chiefs fans like to talk about is how good this team has been, how many great players there has been. But maybe there's a player that is so great, but maybe didn't quite make it to the Hall of Fame than you thought they should have. So let us know in the comments below what Kansas City Chief is not in the Hall of Fame that you think should be. Let us know in the comments below what Kansas City Chief is not in the Hall of Fame that you think should be. We're excited to hear what you have to say. Also, stay tuned to the end of the video. Hear a word from our partner of today's video, and that is Neuro. They have some great products to give you a quick and easy boost of energy. We love to take their mints, their gums before the show, kind of keep us focused on track so we can give you the Chiefs content you love. So stay tuned to the end of the video to hear more about Neuro and their products and get your hands on our discount code, which is the real prize of today's video. But Nick, nonetheless, let's get into everything Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, so this time of year, we're talking about every team that's going through minicamp and OTAs, and we're always looking for new additions and how they're fitting into teams and what they're doing and where they could look toward the future with those teams. But I think there's a very interesting report out of Chiefs minicamp, out of Chiefs OTAs, that's potentially setting up a really big move in terms of a really smart opportunity for the Kansas City Chiefs. And that's before I get into the reason why. Let's pull up the report, Miles. This is from Rotoballer. Talking about OTAs here for the Chiefs. Kansas City Chiefs running back Clyde Edwards-Helaire is in great shape this offseason, and head coach Andy Reid noticed he looks quick and strong during organized team activities this weekend. Edwards-Helaire caught a touchdown down the left sideline from quarterback Patrick Mahomes in 7-on-7 drills on Wednesday. The 24-year-old is stepping up early in the offseason with Isaiah Pacheco, hand, shoulder, is sidelined. The former first-round pick in 2020 has been a bust for the Chiefs and is basically buried on the depth chart in KC heading into the 2023 season behind Pacheco and Jerick McKinnon. But he does appear to be motivated. Injuries have mostly been to blame as he played in just 10 games due to an ankle sprain in 2022 and finished with just 302 rushing yards. All right, so what does this mean? Obviously, the fact that the Chiefs have so many good running backs, Deneric Prince, we've talked about him before, seems to be a nice guy, undrafted free agent as well. I don't think this is a sign that Edwards-Helaire is finally moving into a big role in the offense. I think the Chiefs love what they have in Pacheco. I think Darren McKinnon is a special role player for him, and Deneric Prince is a really nice up-and-coming talent as well. I think this is opening up an opportunity, and the fact that the Chiefs are being very public with saying, hey, listen, this guy looks great. He's really healthy. He's a great playmaker. I think they're setting up a trade. We're going into the last year of Edwards-Helaire's contract, and obviously as a first-round pick, he has not lived up even remotely close to that expectation. Now is the time to try and recoup some of that investment. And here's a chance for the Chiefs to kind of hype up Edwards-Helaire a little bit. Say, like, listen, the injury bug is behind him. He looks good. He can catch the ball in the backfield. He can do all these things. We'd love to have him on the team, but our just roster's too deep. We're just too stacked at running back. We'll trade him and get a fourth or fifth round pick in return or something like that. That's what the Chiefs are doing right now. And credit to Kansas City for doing it, because I think it's really smart, because there's going to be some running back desperate team out there in the NFL. It's going to go through some injuries, whether it's in OTAs, training camp, preseason, or whatever. They're going to want a veteran running back on the relative cheap, and the Chiefs are going to be able to pick up a nice mid-round draft pick in return. That's my opinion. I think that's what the Chiefs are setting up here. Miles, what are your thoughts on this report involving the Chiefs and Edwards-Helaire?
I think it's really good, Nick, and I think there is a lot of allure to a guy like Clyde Edwards-Helaire for a team that is in need of a running back or another running back, so to speak, because, Nick, Let's take a second and think about something really fast. We all know DeMarco Murray, Dallas Cowboys, the year that he set the rushing record. How many carries did he have that year? It was like upwards of 400 some on.
About 400, yeah.
And Clyde Edwards-Helaire career, 272 career carries in over 3 years. Not a lot of wear and tear on this guy. He still have a lot of football left in him. So he is very low carries. He has not taken a huge beating. So I think that's another selling point to go with the Chiefs. He's looking good. He is getting back to form. And I think you're exactly right when they're looking to move on. Because the fact of the matter is, whether or not Clyde Edwards-Helaire has the talent and just has not, made the move that he needed to make, that's not the case anymore. Because the Chiefs have 3 very good running backs on this roster already, in Pacheco and McKinnon and Prince, as we said. So Helaire is kind of the odd man out here. But he is still a first-round talent. He was drafted in the first round by the Chiefs in 2020. So there's a lot of value here. So I think this is a very smart play by the Chiefs. Kind of start putting the feelers out there, saying, hey, he's back to form. He's looking really good coming off injury. He's really stepping up, taking the leadership role. early on in OTAs in the absence of a guy like Pacheco. So I think this is a really, kind of masterclass by the Chiefs, showing everybody why they've been so successful in the last couple of years, because they've made a lot of very big trades in the last couple of years, moving on for guys that they don't want to give that next big contract to, mainly thinking of a guy like Tyreek Hill. Edwards-Helaire contract coming up. They don't want to pay him because they have 3 other running backs on the roster that, quite frankly, they would prefer. So if they can get anything for a guy like Helaire, I think that would be absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, and I'm just going to tell Chiefs fans, keep your eye on the Washington Commanders. Head coach Ron Rivera, new offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy, obviously is very familiar with Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Ron Rivera, a little bit on the hot seat there in Washington. Obviously, a few years where they haven't done so well. Look for them to potentially get desperate if they're looking for another playmaker on their football team to maybe overpay, and the Chiefs and company to take advantage of that and get a 3rd or 4th round pick in return for Edwards-Helaire, which would be an absolute steal for this football team. All right, Miles, we would like to give a special thanks to our partner in today's video, Neuro.
That's right, Nick. And I want you to go with me on a journey really fast. I want you to imagine this. It's 4th and goal in the big game, Nick. Your team is relying on you to make the big-time game-winning play. I know you've been in this situation before, Nick. The stadium is roaring. The clock is ticking. The game is on the line. But if only in that moment you were able to have some Neuro Gum. Neuro Gum will help you stay concentrated, and it gives you a burst of energy without a nasty crash.
That's right, Miles. Neuro has thoughtfully curated ingredients and does endless lab testing, which means that you can reach the right state of mind safely and consistently. That's the most important part. It gives you a clean burst of energy and focus without the jitters of coffee or any of those other energy drinks.
That's right, Nick. And if you click our sponsor link in the description below, you can enjoy energy, calm, and focus whenever you need it.